Hello guys, I'm Ivan Fedorenko and today we're gonna talk about foundations of marketing strategy, segmentation, targeting and positioning. These are some strange words, right? Remember during our first introduction to marketing, I emphasized that marketing is all about making people happy, giving them what they need, what they want, and making money out of it. The trick is human beings are different. Every single person in the world are unique and not like any other. They want different things. They learn different things. They behave differently and make their decisions differently about purchasing and using this product. So there is always a trade-off. On one side, as you probably remember from economics, the more we produce of the same product, the more efficient it gets because of the economy of scale. Our fixed costs remain the same as the volume of manufacturing and the volume of our sales increases, our costs go down and our profitability rises. So the most efficient economically, most efficient way to do business for every company is to offer one single type of one single product. The problem is people are not going to buy that. It's not good enough. So on the other side, companies may strive to personalize their offer and offer each individual consumer very unique offer, the very unique product at a unique price. But that would be costly. This unique price would be very high because the cost of manufacturing this unique item would be very high. So there is a trade-off, a golden middle, which is splitting the market, the big target market that consists of all our potential customers, splitting it into smaller slices and offering each slice of the market, each group of consumers, different offers depending on their unique attributes, characteristics that these customers within this group share and their unique needs. This is called segmentation. Segmentation means dividing the market into smaller, homogeneous submarkets. Homogeneous means that our customers within each smaller submarket are similar to each other on some meaningful attributes, and they share similar needs. It enables us to think about our consumers strategically, the same way as consumers choose which brands they want to consider. They create consideration set and weigh options based on their individual criteria. The same way, segmentation enables companies to create a consideration set of different customer types and choose their customers. Segmentation enables companies to find a golden middle, the optimal balance between economic efficiency and satisfying individual consumers' needs. Notice that segmentation in itself is not enough. identifying these segments is not enough. We should be able to create a marketing mix, a combination of a product, price, promotion, and distribution to reach and satisfy the needs of this particular segment. Maybe of all potential segments, we can serve only one. That's called concentrated on niche marketing. We can reach only one segment of all. Or we can develop unique offers to each segment. This strategy is built upon learning who are our consumers and what are the specific needs of each type of consumer. For example, if our company offers snacks, say pizza, what can be our potential customer segment? Based on demographics, we can identify younger or older consumers. Younger consumers may be more health conscious and more interested in healthy eating. They're also more likely to be vegetarian and prefer vegetarian pizza. Identifying these market segments allows company to satisfy customers, to prepare and offer unique combination of products and promotions. For example, we can reach younger consumers through social media and our older consumers through coupons and local newspapers. And it allows to differentiate brand, to get our brand to occupy a unique position, a place in consumers' minds, so that they know us and can differentiate and make a distinction and recognize our brand from all the competitors and realize why we are so much better than anyone else. When the ultimate goal of marketing is growth, expanding, creating new business for a company. If we own a pizza place somewhere around the corner from our campus, how would we expand? One way to expand is to find new consumers. For example, from focusing exclusively on our students, we could strive to offer families living nearby, work on the delivery service to their backyard parties, birthday parties, and Friday nights. Another way of expansion would be finding unserved needs for our existing consumers and supplementing offers. For example, instead of offering just pizza, we can add snacks, fries, drinks, and start offering complex dining to our existing consumers. So expanding our market, expanding our offers requires understanding specific needs of different consumers. Because students on campus are likely to have very different needs from families living around the campus. There are 4 ways of identifying and differentiating segments based on different types of attributes consumers share: demographic, geographic, psychographic, and behavioral characteristics. We'll talk a little about each of these. Demographic means grouping consumers based on their age, gender, occupation, marital status, and family life cycle. Is it a young family without kids? Or mature family with several kids? Or so-called empty nester family with all grown-up kids who went off to college? These three types of families are likely to have very different needs and different buying power as well. Advantage of demographic segmentation is that it is simple. Demographic characteristics are observable. We can look at our consumers, look at people who walk into our store and realize their gender, age, and other attributes. It's easy. The disadvantage is that it doesn't give us any idea why particular consumers prefer us. For example, we see that majority of our consumers are elder people, like cruise lines, Royal Caribbean, Carnival cruises. Most of the consumers are people in age 50 plus. They understand that this is probably their target market. But why? Demographics in itself doesn't give us any idea. Geographical targeting is based on the location where our consumers live, where they go to work, where they can buy our products, and where we can reach them geographically. The picture here illustrates target, effort, and their expansion to campuses. To supplement their big, famous stores, in last several years, they've been opening small format convenience stores located on university campuses to reach their potential consumers, college students, right where they are. Technology enhances geographical targeting, allowing us to deliver messages and advertise to consumers located in certain area. Several years ago, Burger King ran a campaign targeting McDonald's consumers. If you walk into McDonald's, you automatically get an ad on your phone from Burger King offering you a healthy burger for $1, but only if you already stay in McDonald's. So this can pull you from their competitor's restaurant by exclusive offer. As compared to demographic, psychographic, it's kind of the opposite. It's based not on observable surface attributes of consumers, but rather on what's inside consumers' head. What are their interests, values, what they like to try and what they try to do. For example, this particular student on the picture can be a girl in her 20s, a college student. What does it say about her interests? That how do we know that she likes volleyball and plays guitar and loves dogs? How we know that? It's hard to observe, but when we can get in inside consumers' heads by analyzing, for example, their social media profiles, which pages they follow and which posts they like and repost. If we can get customers to tell us about themselves, then we can understand the motives and drivers of their behavior. One of the links attached to this file leads to value, activity, lifestyle questionnaire. Please go ahead and complete the questionnaire to learn something new about yourself. This questionnaire, VALS, of value, activity, lifestyle, combines primary motivation, what drives people, and resources they have, including monetary and time and knowledge and social resources they can use to acquire and use products, to differentiate 8 consumer segments, such as thinkers, achievers, experiences, or makers. What's your primary segment? Alternative way to segmenting consumers is used by Forrester to identify primary groups for technology-infused products. They use attributes such as willingness to experiment, personal innovativeness, digital integration, and information savviness, how confident consumers are finding and evaluating information about products and services. Based on these attributes, they identify several segments, such as progressive pioneers, convenience conformers or settled survivors. So the technology company can target each of these groups based on their behavior, based on their interests and values, rather than on their observable demographics. And final, fourth way to segment the market is based on consumer behavior, on what people do rather than what they think. It is relatively easy because if we try to differentiate consumers based on their purchasing and usage patterns, on how they buy and how they use our product, we already have this information most of the time readily available in our sales databases, in our customer relationship management databases. Whenever people buy something from the company stores information about their purchase, especially if consumers use some kind of a loyalty program that links every purchase to a consumer profile. One of typical way to segment consumers based on their behavior is RFM segmentation: recency, frequency, and monetary value. Recency means how long ago consumer made their purchase last time. Frequency means how often they typically make a purchase. And monetary means what's the average size of their purchase. This RFM segmentation enables company to develop specific offers for consumers. For example, if we see that a consumer typically visits our store once a month, and we realize that we haven't seen this consumer register at our cashier line for 2 months, that can be a threat. Maybe this consumer is thinking about abandoning us and switching to competitors. So we can reach out to this consumer with special offer to get them back to our store. The problem with RFM and other behavioral segmentation is that they rely on our internal data about our current consumers, and their behavior. We implicitly assume that all consumers in the market are similar to our current customers, which can be not the case. This is one of my favorite stories about segmentation and market expansion. It was not always a brand we know now. 15 years ago, in early 2000s, it was reliable but sturdy and drab car. Unattractive, quite ugly design. While most of the automotive brands enjoyed rapid growth, Subaru didn't. They struggled and stagnated in their market. So when they tried to identify their consumers, they realized that they are attractive to teachers, educators, and doctors for their reliability, for people who need to get to work, even in countryside. They also attracted some ragged outdoorsy type who liked going out and traveling in hardly accessible places. Okay, but all of a sudden they realized that the only type of a consumer where they enjoyed growth were single women in very particular geographic locations like Portland, Oregon, and Western Massachusetts. That looked strange, and this is always a good sign when you see among your consumers some consumers that you don't understand why they're buying our product. This is a sign that there might be a bigger story and potential for expansion there. So Subaru reached out to this single woman and realized that most of these women were in fact lesbians. They value freedom, independence, sturdiness, reliability, and kind of masculinity of the brand. So Subaru started embraced it, and they started targeting these consumers with very subtle clues in their ads. They were the first brand to hire first openly lesbian athletes for their advertising, such as great tennis champion Martina Navratilova. And they started providing subtle cues in their ads. For example, a typical automotive brand, a car running along the street in a quiet town. But this town is a province town in Massachusetts, an iconic LGBT community town. Or a license plate of this car would say literally Xena, which is iconic character for this community. Subtle cues that only particular market segment can uncode, decode, and understand. Only particular market segment can realize the value of these clues and connect emotionally to this brand. This move made Subaru an iconic LGBT brand for about 20 years. So how we do segmentation? So we need to identify which variables we could use to differentiate our market, to slice our big target market in smaller pieces. Then identify groups of consumers based on these attributes, based on their age, gender, ethnicity, interests, values, geographical location, and purchase pattern. Link them together and offer individualized offers to each segment. The statistical technique used to segment the market is called cluster analysis. Most of the statistical software nowadays offer automated AI-driven procedures to do that. In the most simple way, marketers load their consumers' database with all the data they have about their consumers, run the cluster analysis algorithm, which identifies which consumers are similar to each other. Not just on 1 or 2 characteristics, but like on 50 or 60 dimensions at the same time. The trick is whether we are able to offer something very different to this particular segment. When we identified segments and listed potential types of our consumers, it is time to decide which of them we're going to prioritize, which consumers we like the most. In the next video, we'll talk about targeting.